What's good, Atlanta? This is the Blog and Dirty podcast, where Dirty Bird is the word. If you haven't heard, I'm your host, John Buhler, lead writer for FanSided. It's also a Winnebago behind me because it's Christmas time. This is an Atlanta Falcons podcast for the FanSided site, Blog and Dirty. Again, I cover college football predominantly for FanSided, but I'm also a diehard Falcons fan. We have improved to a absolutely fantastic 6-9 on the season. It's so nice. Not going to make the playoffs, but if we win our final two games, we'll match what we did a year ago. If we win just one, we'll have another Arthur Smith 7-10 split. But at least we got 6 wins. And before we begin, be sure to hit that like button, smash that subscribe button, give this thing a 5-star review on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, anywhere there's podcasts. It really helps the show grow. Blog and Dirty Bird Nation, you guys are rising up, and we have a fantastic show here for you guys today. Coming to you a little bit later because, this is a smaller show versus what we've got with Still Curtain. There's a recording time. There's only so much studio space we have, but, I'm going to knock this out of the ballpark here for you guys here with 3 yards to cloud of punt here to recap the Falcons' 26-19 road victory over the Arizona Cardinals. Again, this format is Marty ball. So the first 2 downs we run, 3rd down we pass, 4th down we punt. Just like Marty Schottenheimer used to do with the Browns, the Chiefs, and the Chargers. The Cowboys don't do that anymore, but, runs are things that I feel very strongly in the positive, pass very strongly in the negative, punt, just defer because I don't really know. So without further ado, let's get started with our first run of the day. I got to be honest with you, Bijan Robinson showing out big time in his home state of Arizona was awesome. It was fantastic. They kept cutting back to his family at the State Farm Stadium crowd. Might have been his grandparents. They might have mistook him for his parents. I don't know. The guy put on a fantastic showing there in front of a lot of friends and family there. Again, Bijan Robinson may have played his college football at Texas in Austin, but he's originally from Tucson. That's where he grew up and everything like that. So on the day, Robinson had 16 carries for 76 yards, only to be slightly outdone by Tyler Allgeier, who I'll get to in a second with his 79 yards and 60 carries. Bijan Robinson also had 7 catches for 92 yards and a touchdown out of the backfield. The guy's an animal. The guy just is everything that I want out of a running back. He's one of my all-time favorite players. I mean, he's only in, year 3 with the Falcons because, he basically reminds me of what LaDainian Tomlinson was, one of my all-time favorite players who didn't play for the Falcons. He's got LaDainian Tomlinson. He's got Marshall Faulk, some Barry Sanders. I don't remember who Jason Benetti or Brady Quinn mentioned on the during the telecast, but he watches them all. Adrian Peterson's another guy he mentioned too. He's so incredibly shifty in the backfield. He's never like the guy that's like going to break away and run for 100 yards, 99 yards in a carry, but it's these plays where you think that he's going to be tackled for a loss of yardage, and he gets 5. Or he wiggles around and makes the defense just look stupid, breaking a 1 tackle left and right. He's been – sorry about that. I haven't seen a player like this for the Falcons since prime Julio Jones. And again, prime Julio Jones was different than this. Prime Julio was a guy that we could trust to just go get the ball and make any catch in the middle of the field. Wasn't always a big touchdown threat because of just how he played. One of the greatest possession receivers of all time, and I don't mean that disparagingly. I just mean this guy is going to make a play here. Bijan Robinson's doing stuff that's absolutely electrifying in the backfield. I mean, the last guy I saw that do that here in Atlanta was honestly Michael Vick, and that was a quarter of a century ago. And again, this was a relatively historic win for the Falcons. I'll touch on that here in a second. This was, I think, their first win at the Cardinals since 2001. That was Michael Vick's rookie year. Chris Chandler was the starting quarterback then, remember that? And he beat his former team back when they were the Phoenix Cardinals. I think that was the Falcons' first win at State Farm Stadium because the last time they beat them, that venue didn't exist. They were playing at Sun Devil Stadium. So it's been that long of a time. Granted, the Falcons and the Cardinals don't play all that often, but they are in the same conference. So they play at least every 3 years, and they play on the road at least every 6. So again, you hadn't taken care of business on the road in Phoenix in your last 4 or 5 attempts. So that's pretty impressive here. And even though the Cardinals are 3-11, they've now dropped to 3-12. We've improved to 6-9. We're 4-5 away from home. They're they're a terrible 1-7 at home. There's no home field advantage there for the Redbirds over there in the Valley of the Sun. But this has had to be a special moment for Bijan Robinson. And honestly, I would have been ashamed if they didn't get the win for him, because like, how many more opportunities is he going to be playing in Phoenix? I mean, like, realistically, I mean, maybe some, depending on it, but if he stays in Atlanta, I mean, you're talking like, again, once every 6 years, maybe sooner if the Cardinals and the Falcons are good at the same time, or equally as bad because of competitive balance rotation, everything like that. And then you also got to factor in that, like, we don't play in the same division, and these things. Every time you went on the road in a non-division game, that's always very, very impressive, because like, how often are you going to go back to that venue? This isn't like going to Charlotte. This isn't like going to Tampa. This isn't like going to New Orleans, where you have that on the schedule at least once a year when you're the Falcons. But like, to go on the road and to win like that, and to really just kind of be the all-purpose back that everybody in this league loves. Again, he's in year 3 and he's getting even better. I've been doing this show for 2 years now, and there were moments last year I'm like, I think he's making the quantum leap. I think his vision's getting better, and he's seeing the field tremendously. He's so much fun to watch, and I think, like, for as good and bad and ugly as the Falcons can be, when he's out there, it's almost like you can't take your eyes away, because you never know what he's going to do in the backfield. So it's absolutely wonderful to have a player like that on your team, and he showed up big time in front of his family, so props to him. And I'm invited by second run here. I mentioned him already. We got to run with this. We got to give Tyler Allgeier the ball more. Look, I know that there's only so many snaps you have within the context of a game, but he matched Bijan with 60 carries in the backfield. I don't think he had like one reception for like a 6-yard loss. Again, he was only targeted once, whereas Bijan was targeted 11 times for 7 catches and everything like that out of the backfield. But when you give Tyler Allgeier more than just 5 carries a game, good things happen, because his running style, honestly, it perfectly complements Bijan Robinson. Again, Bijan Robinson's more lightning and Tyler Allgeier is more thunder, but they both have a little bit of lightning and thunder in them as well. Like Bijan's like, yeah, he'll be shifty in the backfield, but he'll also knock you over. And Allgeier is just not just a bowling ball back there. There's sometimes out there is like, man, he's got some good speed there. I saw this, and again, like, this is funny because like, I can't believe I'm saying this. We literally have the same backfield that the Chargers did with Marty Schottenheimer when they were doing Marty Ball over there in San Diego, because Bijan Robinson's LaDainian Tomlinson and Tyler Allgeier is Michael LeBurner Turner. Again, Michael Turner was a fantastic player in Northern Illinois, kind of a mid-round pick like Allgeier was out of BYU. Obviously, LaDainian Tomlinson was number 5 overall pick out of TCU by the Chargers, which could have been the Falcons pick, but that's how we got Michael Vick. And they got Drew Brees out of that, which eventually they got Phillip Rivers, so maybe they won the deal there. But like, Allgeier is like Turner. Like, how many more years is he going to be like, playing number 2 to Bijan? Maybe he'll extend his career like Michael Turner did. But you got to remember, the Falcons are not the Falcons under Mike Smith without Michael LeBurner Turner. When he came over in 2008, like, the Falcons were horrible. He's like, great, there's an opportunity for me to be a starter on a team. He was like an all-pro this first year. And he really, really, really helped Matt Ryan come along as a rookie. Roddy White did too. They didn't get Tony Gonzalez until 2009. Julio Jones didn't come in until 2011. But Michael Turner was just an unbelievable back here for the Falcons for 5 years. Eventually, the trade kind of came off in 2012. That was his last year in the NFL. Kind of hard to believe that he hasn't played in the league for 13 years. It's kind of crazy. But with Allgeier, I forget exactly where I saw this on X. I think somebody shared out. This could be true or not. I don't know, but I'm just gonna say it because it hasn't been able to escape my mind. I think somebody in the know with his family says Tyler Allgeier loves playing for the Falcons, but also he wants more touches. So like, he is hitting free agency at the end of the year, and we may only get 2 more games out of him. That would be a damn shame, because like, somebody's gonna pay him. Maybe we franchise tag him. I don't know. You got to figure out how to pay Bijan too, because he's coming up there with a 5th-year option as well, and everything like that. You got to extend Drake London. You got to figure out what you're gonna do with Kyle Pitts. It's a shame when he draft well in some instances, because the money can only go so far. But for a guy that we got in the 4th or 5th round to be as impactful as he is for this team in a very like refined role, you know, this is what you're hoping for when you draft a player like this. And unfortunately, he may have played his way out here, and that would stink because he's such an incredible player. Maybe we had this too, with TJ Duckett backing up work done and not that long ago, kind of in the DVD Falcons with Michael Vick as well, with that rushing attack under Jim Mora Jr. and everything like that. It's because, you don't want to pay like a running back extra contract. Obviously, Bijan Robinson is special, but Tyler Allgeier is really damn good. I wish we could figure out a way to kind of get him the ball a little bit more. And again, maybe with Cousins out there, and I got to touch on Cousins here in the latter part of the show, but maybe you can spread the ball around a little more, maybe be a little more ball control. Defense is good. Maybe we've kind of found an identity here. A little too late, but maybe this is something you can work with moving forward into next year. But got to give this guy the ball some more, because if you don't, he's going to leave. And on that note, let's move on to some pass here, second half of the show. Even though we won, I got to pass with Zac Robinson's play calling. He continues to make some of the worst decisions in crucial spots, like particularly 3rd and short or on 4th down. There was at least like 3 plays where I was just like, what are you doing? I'm recording false start with my FanSided colleague Cody Williams over in the college division. Over on FanSided.com, covering college football as a whole. Definitely check that out. Again, we kind of do that in another time, but like it's a fun show that you guys should definitely check out. Again, college football is kind of my number one. Falcons is my number 1B, if you will. But anyway, like as I'm like watching this game unfold, there was a play. It was like 3rd and 1. And Robinson gets cute behind line of scrimmage. He tries to, like, I don't even know, jet sweeps, but like crossing patterns. He's basically like running like 40 yards to get 1. And when you have an offensive line that can be so hit or miss for the Falcons, and everybody knows you're going to run the ball, like that's a recipe for disaster. Like I think also the fact that Cousins is a statue, he's not going to run. Again, I don't blame him. That's not his skill set. That's like asking a goldfish to climb a tree. That's not what he's going to do. He did have a rushing touchdown today. He did take it in himself. He had a couple of sneaks there, so you got that Tom Brady in him a little bit there. But probably the best way to say it is like, dude, like people are starting game plan against you. The 2 things. Or really the 3 things that just bother me so much about Zac Robinson's play calling. I mentioned this now, like crucial spots, he just doesn't he doesn't lock in. He's a great caller, plays occasionally on 1st and 2nd down, 3rd and 4th, not so much. I'm usually kind of like watching the game through my fingers, just like, oh my God, I can't deal with this. Not particularly great in the red zone either. Again, that's where games are won and lost. You got to get touchdowns, not field goals. When you have a short field, you got to make the most of the limited amount of space you have. And then this was also an issue kind of with Penix. Where's the medium passing game? He likes to throw the ball deep, and he likes to throw like this screen game here. And again, with Cousins being in his 14th year in the league, maybe there is a little bit more nuance to his game, and maybe that started to unravel here a little bit more. Or and it's been nice. The team has been playing a lot more competently on offense since he's taken over for Penix, to be straight with you. But really, like, this is year 2 for him in this role. And I'm not saying this is a pop year or like he's got to figure it out. I'm really struggling to see if the staff is retained for another year, which I'm kind of leaning towards it might. I think this is an incredibly weak cycle. And even though you had that awful 5-game losing streak during the middle of the season, like who out there are you going to get that's realistically better than what we have right now, which is kind of silly to believe. Like the New York Giants want to hire Marcus Freeman away from the Notre Dame Fighting Irish, and that's really all you need to know about the current hiring cycle. I don't know what the Giants or the Titans or teams that don't have a coach right now are going to do. It's going to be tough. I would venture to guess that maybe 6 jobs open up. Atlanta could be one of them. We'll see what Arthur Blank wants to do. But if they're going to run it back again, I don't know what Zac Robinson's going to do to get better at this. I think the big thing is just have Penix, if he's going to be the starter, play under center. Have the starters play a little bit in the preseason because you've lost the benefit of the doubt there. You need to get better. You got to put in the work because every rep counts. Every rep matters, including from a play calling standpoint. You can't mail it in. You're too green into your coaching career to do this. Just because you have a job of 1 of 32 and there's 32 other jobs that you want from this. You're not going to get to be a head coach from an offensive coordinator position if you can't elevate. And at this point over his last 2 years with this team, like, I mean, Oklahoma State would have rather hired Eric Morris away from North Texas than to bring you back to alma mater, man. Like that's all you really got to know here. It wasn't, again, like there were some parts of the day where I thought he did a really good job. And again, there are some things where I'm like, this is kind of working out. But like it's far too often in these spots. Like there's at least 3 or 4 plays today where I'm like, what are we doing, man? Like if we were a better team, we'd get those, but we're not. We're the Falcons. And let's get out of here with some punt. I don't know if Kirk Cousins is going to be part of next year's team's plans, but he should. I was telling Cody Williams on the show as I'm watching, I'm like, I think he's just a better fit for the team right now than Penix. Like it's kind of weird to admit that. Again, Cousins last year had no mobility with his knee, or with his leg coming off of an Achilles tear. Then he kind of got that bum shoulder. He kind of like slid under the rug, said, "Oh, I'm playing through pain." And Penix didn't get those reps. Obviously, Penix is injury prone. This is his 3rd ACL tear in his career. I think this is the 5th time in 8 years his season's ended due to injury. But really, the single biggest thing that makes me feel optimistic about Cousins possibly being part of this team next year, first off, he'll be under contract. Second off, like Penix is, he tore his ACL midway through the year. It's about a year recovery. I don't think he's going to be ready by the start of the camp. And I think with Cousins, you'd be like, okay, you know what? Let's give you the first 4 weeks of the season. We'll let Penix kind of work his way back. Again, because it's, got to protect your asset as best as you can. And at least Cousins will have one opportunity to do this. Maybe they'll come a play where he doesn't play well and he put Penix back out there. And again, we have to deal with this nonsense all over again because this is what Terry Fontenot and the boys signed up for. But when you have a quarterback who has seen everything, who has played at a very high level for a decade plus, who knows how to put his hand on another man's ass and receive the football from under center, it opens up the entire playbook. You can run the football with absolute conviction. Offensive linemen, they love to run the football because they get to burrow through another man's soul. They get to run downhill. Whereas when they go back to pass, they got to move back. They got to go in an awkward position. They got to contain far better athletes coming off the edge than they are. Also, shout out to Jake Matthews trying to catch the ball in the end zone. That's one of those Zac Robinson plays. Like, it would have been cool, but like the dude's a Matthews. Like his dad's Bruce Matthews. His uncle's Clay Jr. His cousin's Clay the Third. Like, come on, man. It would have been cool for him to catch the ball. And maybe he's gonna hang it up here soon. I don't know. He's 30-something at this point, right? Who cares? But when you're able to have a quarterback play under center and you can do a play action fake and actually sell it, it opens up much easier passing windows. When you have Penix, who played primarily out of the gun at Indiana and Washington, then he's got to also be out of the pistol. Again, they use that a little bit more. That's kind of more of a Zac Robinson thing. That's why he was called Pistol Boy. The Falcons have won both games since we called him Pistol Boy and stuff like that. Find a way, man. I guess, like, how do I say this? When you're able to get into different formations, including what your quarterback can do, it makes the defense have to plan for that. And they move a little bit slower because they know that what you're running is a little bit more complex. And again, you have to remember that everybody in the NFL is the best at what they did in college. These guys are the best. Like, you're not throwing to a guy that's open. You're throwing him open. You're not throwing to space. You're throwing to a spot. And again, Penix he's had his moments. There's been a lot of stuff that I've really liked, but like, he's got to be more accurate. He's got to be more comfortable throwing the ball down the middle of the field. And, when he's out of pistol, it can't just be run. And when he's out of, shotgun, it can't just be pass. You got to be a little more clandestine. He can't be so gosh darn predictable all the time. But, whatever Cousins does, I get it. If he doesn't want to be here, I don't blame him. If he does, I hope he gets an opportunity to play or at least compete for the job because he's been playing pretty well for last couple weeks. So I'll give him credit. His Atlanta Falcons tenure is always going to be remembered for the contract, for the Penix, all this other stuff. But he can still play decently. And again, we've won 2 games or 3. We've won some games with them this year that we didn't win with Penix. So I'm happy with what Cousins is doing. And this was 3 yards in the cloud of punt here on the Blog and Dirty podcast. You can follow me, John Buhler, on Twitter or the X at Buhler118. You can follow the show on YouTube at Blog and Dirty FS. You can follow along on X at Blog and Dirty. But be sure to like, rate, listen, subscribe, review on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, anywhere there's podcasts. Give us a 5-star review. Be sure to check out all of our written content about the Atlanta Falcons on Blog and Dirty, on FanSided.com, on NFL Spin Zone, or on SI, Sports Illustrated. Just consume Minute Media content. Again, if you want to read anything that I write about college football, again, I write predominantly about the Georgia Bulldogs on Dawn of the Dog, but you can read my stuff on other websites such as Gig'em Gazette, Kane's Warning, Hoosier State of Mind, GBM Wolverine, Bama Hammer, just a handful of other places. Basically, anybody who's in the playoff right now, I've got stuff to write about. It's been an exciting time. Glad the Falcons got a win today. It's been a pretty good weekend here. I will be coming to you guys again semi-live. It'll be recorded on Christmas Eve. I'll preview the game for the Falcons versus the LA Rams on Monday Night Football. It'll be fun. I'll probably spruce it up here with a graphic later. I think producer Sean's going to be off, so we'll see what happens here. But again, I'll have a show up here for you guys on Wednesday. I won't be working that day, but I'll be sure to give you guys the goods here, kind of my thoughts heading into the penultimate game of the season. Oh man, yeah. But just I can't believe we won 2 games in a row. If we won 3 in a row, man, I'm going to do cartwheel streets, especially if we beat the Rams. Imagine if we won 4. We haven't done that in God knows how long. Because we're the Atlanta Falcons. Once again, thanks for listening, and this is the Blog and Dirty Podcast.